Good morning, class, and congratulations on making it to the end of the semester. It's been tough with the polysynchronous learning, but we've made it work. For my final speech, I want to do something that I thought could lighten the mood a little bit, something I do care a little bit about, and something I thought could just make people smile and laugh. So, why does my singing in the shower sound so good? If you recognize this picture, it's from one of my favorite movies, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, from the opening monologue. He's using the shower head as a microphone, as I'm sure many of us can attest to. So if you guys are anything like me, you guys enjoy spending time like in the car, just jamming the music, and it also translates to the shower, just playing music, enjoying yourself. However, have you ever belted out a tune that sounds like you could release a multi-platinum selling album the next day and later find out that you can't hit it? That happens to me all the time. I sound great in the shower, and I go to the car and I sound like absolute dog water. So I began to think, why do I sound so great in the shower but like trash everywhere else? I looked into it more, and the science behind it was actually very interesting. So why do I sound so good? One of the reasons I found that I sound so good in the shower is because of the acoustics. The mix of the hard walls of the shower and also the confined space of the shower makes for really great acoustics. From Stephen Chin from SciShow, shower stalls tend to be made from smooth, hard surfaces like tile. When sound waves hit them, they are reflected back at you instead of absorbed or reflected. And the reflected sound amplifies your voice, basically cranking up the volume. So essentially, because the walls are made out of like a hard tile or a hard surface, the material they're made out of, and in the proximity of the walls to you, the sound, instead of getting absorbed into lots of the walls, or in a big room like this, it gets pushed back to my ears, making it sound louder and cleaner than when I sang it, henceforth making me feel like and thinking that I'm a better singer because of it. Very similar along those lines, in regards to the proximity of the walls and some of them being closer to me, some of them being further, the amount of time it takes for the sound to reverberate off the walls and come back to my ears, it varies slightly. The slight change in the distance needed to come back to my ears causes my sound to be richer and fuller for a more even sounding tone, because it's all hitting at different points. Exploratopia.edu says, because the sounds are bouncing around, some of them take longer to reach your ears. That stretches out the sound, making it richer and fuller, so you sound great too. This effect, known as reverberation, gives you the impression that the note you sang lasted longer than it actually did. Reverberation can also help smooth the transition between notes as the reflecting waves overlap when they hit your ears, so it's not so noticeable when you're off key. That's from SciShow 2018, like the quote earlier was from. So every time I sing, my voice bounces off the walls and comes back to my ears. When it bounces, it loses a little bit of its pitch and a little bit of its volume, because it's not 100% bounced back. It's like how you want to drop a bouncy ball from your shoulder. It doesn't get quite as high each bounce after that. By dropping in volume and pitch, the sound you created when you were singing, it creates a harmony no matter what note you started at. The harmony creates a music to my ears. Even if you're not a music person, you definitely understand the good harmony. Something you can kind of feel. And then another reason why singing in the shower makes me sound so good is because of the resonance that comes from the space. Resonance is described by Oxford Languages as the quality in a sound of being deep, full, and reverberating. In the shower, because of the way the sound bounces off the walls and into our ears, the sound waves of our voice and the amount of space between the peaks on the wavelength, it matches up with the size of the room. It's all relative, of course. No wavelength is the size of a room. That resonance, especially prominent with low and bass notes, can make it really pop and sound absolutely phenomenal. And then along with the scientific reasons as to why singing in the shower makes me sound better, there's also a psychological reason behind it as well. I know, at least for me, the shower is my time to relax. All the stresses of that day just wash away with the water. They go down the drain with that. It's a time for me where I can breathe and relax. And I like to spend my time by singing. It's something that's I enjoy doing. In the shower, I'm free to be whoever I want. No one's judging me. I can be Christina Aguilera or I can be Dwayne Johnson, and anywhere in between. I have a really wide range. So I built it out and I can be myself. Since it's my own area, I have the confidence to sing my heart out no matter how badly it sounds to the outside world. And confidence can actually make me believe I am the better singer. And studies do show that if you are more confident in anything, taking a test, giving a speech, singing, it actually does have physical effects as well. You do end up being better than if you're not. I do have a short video explaining pretty much what I went over.
Stream live TV from 85 plus top channels, including...
Remember when you had that impromptu jam session in the shower, belting out the lyrics to Like a Prayer? You know you nailed it. But then when you tried to recreate the moment with your friends during that long road trip, you were less Madonna and more wet cat. So if it seems like some kind of magic happens to your voice when you step into a steamy stall, that's because bathrooms usually do have some pretty wonderful acoustic properties. So you really do sound better to yourself when you sing in them. Shower stalls tend to be made of smooth, hard surfaces like tile. When sound waves hit them, they're reflected back at you rather than absorbed or dispersed. And the reflected sound amplifies your voice, basically cranking up the volume. But your voice isn't just louder. Because the various walls of your shower are different distances from your mouth, some of the sound waves from your singing travel slightly farther, so they take a fraction of a second longer to get back to your ears. And because the walls are made of smooth, hard surfaces, the waves continue to bounce around from wall to wall, so you continue to hear quieter reflections of the sound for longer than you would, say, you're living. This effect, called reverberation, gives you the impression that the note you sang lasted a little longer than you actually held it. Reverberation can also smooth the transition between notes as the reflected waves overlap when they reach your ear, so it's not as noticeable when you're off key. A lot of karaoke microphones are actually designed to take advantage of this by adding reverberation electronically. Isn't that so nice of them to make sure you don't completely embarrass yourself on stage? Still, your shower performance sounds even better than your karaoke rendition thanks to another acoustic property of bathrooms: resonance, where sound waves line up in just the right way to amplify the sound. In the shower, that happens when the wavelength of a note matches up with the size of the room in a way that makes the peaks of the reflected waves line up. Lots of different notes will resonate in there, but they'll also combine with other reflected sound waves in a way that cancels out some of the sound. This effect is much more noticeable with the deeper bass tones because they have longer wavelengths, more distance between the peaks. So instead of the amplified and muted sounds being distributed all over the room, it's more like there are a few spots where your bass notes sound either a little muted or totally awesome. The acoustics in the shower are so good that recording artists sometimes use them too. Weird Al's first hit single, My Bologna, was recorded in a bathroom, and the Pixies dragged their equipment into the studio bathroom to get the perfect sound for Where Is My Mind and Gigantic. Of course, all of this means that unless you drag your crew into the stall with you, they're probably never going to hear just how beautiful your rendition of Like a Prayer can be. Thanks for asking, and thanks as always to our patrons on Patreon. If you want to help us decide what questions to answer or get access to a lot of cool stuff that you can't get anywhere else, head over to patreon.com/scishow.
So, in conclusion, basically, singing in the shower does not make you sound better. Well, at least to the outside world. However, given the fact that no one is going to outwardly judge you on your shower showcase, we can feel confident to belt our hearts out to our heart's content, no matter how good or how bad you sound. In the end, you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, and that's all we can ask for in this life.
Okay.
Thank you.